The reigning 3-time batting champ, Luis Arraez of the San Diego Padres, has been a huge topic of conversation over the last couple days in Yankee sports because the Yankees are reportedly interested in making a move for Luis Arraez. And depending on what you think of Luis Arraez, really tells you a lot about what era of a fan you are from and what camp you really lie in. So let's answer the question. Would Luis Arraez be a good fit in New York? What's going on, guys? The King of Under 61st, and I'm back another video. And okay, let's start offensively. We all know Luis Arraez, one of the best contact hitters of the last decade. Like I said, he's won the last 3 batting championships. Last year, posting a .314 batting average. That type of contact could be very useful at the top of the Yankees lineup, knowing that they have so many boppers like Judge, now Bellinger, Stanton. You have a couple guys who can do a bit of everything, kind of like Jazz. Some other young and up-and-coming guys like Volpe. A consistent force at the top of your lineup that you know can find his way on base at a decent clip could be interesting. But back to getting on base. This is where a lot of people will have an issue with Luis Arraez. Yes, he had a .314 batting average last year, but that only accounted for a .346 on base percentage. And this is where the conversation of him being the current day Tony Gwynn falls apart. Tony Gwynn found a way to get on base. Tony Gwynn found a way to get hits in key spots. Tony Gwynn was a Hall of Famer for a reason. Luis Arraez is a good contact hitter. Let's not overblow it and say he's even in the same stratosphere as what a Tony Gwynn was. Anyways, what that means, the .346 on base percentage, is that he is at least in the bottom 10% of the MLB in walk percentage. For Luis Arraez, it is basically hit or bust. And there's going to be a lot of people saying, well, if you get a base hit 31.4% of the time, it doesn't really matter. But this is where the offensive conversation comes to a head, because he doesn't provide anything else other than getting base hits, getting singles. The average slugging percentage in Major League Baseball is about .414. Luis Arraez, between both teams he was on last year, the Marlins and the Padres, he had a combined .392 slugging percentage. He is a below average hitter in the slugging department, and his .314 batting average, which won him a batting title, only equated to about a 108 OPS plus. And if we're going to look even deeper into the analytics, into WRC plus, weighted runs created plus, it's an advanced stats that takes everything into account to see how productive you were in getting runs in for your team. Luis Arraez only had a 118 WRC plus. And now let's compare that with the second baseman we just got rid of, because he's going to be a topic of conversation in other ways as well. Gleyber Torres last year had a 111 WRC plus. There's not a huge discrepancy between the value Luis Arraez gives you and the value that Gleyber Torres gives you in terms of driving in run, in terms of being productive at the plate. That is a problem, knowing that the Yankees literally ran Gleyber Torres out of town due to the inconsistencies he's had. And I know a lot of you are going to say, well, we also ran out Gleyber Torres because of his inconsistencies on the other side of the ball. I'm glad you said that. Let's look at both of these players on the defensive side of the ball. So if we look at the 2 positions Luis Arraez would be projected to play, second or third base, we see that at second base, Luis Arraez has accumulated a -33 outs above average. That is insanely bad. That tells you he can't even get a simple ground ball. And at third base, where he spent extremely limited time, he even accumulated a negative outs above average there as well. Gleyber Torres was inconsistent fielding wise, but he was never this bad. And what has been the biggest key of this offseason for the New York Yankees once we lost out on Juan Soto? Fundamentally sound baseball. That's been the key for this entire offseason. Getting guys into their correct position. Judge is back in right. You got Bellinger for center. You're moving Jazz back to second base. You're getting a true first baseman. Everyone is getting out of their secondary positions and going back to their primary spot, because that is the way you create fundamentally sound baseball. Bringing in Luis Arraez would literally counteract everything you did to be a fundamentally sound baseball team. Everything we were mad at Gleyber Torres for. Expect to be mad at Luis Arraez for that twofold, threefold even. He's not going to play DH because there's no way you are benching Giancarlo Stanton for 162. And also, you're not going to put Giancarlo Stanton out in the field. And if you put him out in the field, who are you going to bench at that point? There's no spot other than those two positions for Luis Arraez. And Arraez can't field for jack shit. But here's the thing, whether you love him, whether you hate him, he's basically our best option at this point. We are too far along in the offseason. I doubt the Yankees are going to go above and beyond into a negotiation with Alex Bregman. I don't know why the Yankees aren't that interested in Ha-Seong Kim, but it doesn't seem like they're that into him at the moment. The only real option here and the only real interest we've seen is either Arraez or Gavin Lux. Gavin Lux just got traded to Cincinnati, and even then, Gavin Lux was going to be a reclamation project. At once a top prospect, has been one of the bigger busts of this generation, had a good second half last year. The Yankees were gonna bank on him continuing that second half. Luis Arraez at this point seems like the only option you have, and maybe you could hide him at third base and hope that some of the issues he's had kind of get mitigated because you have Anthony Volpe next to you. But if we look at the positive side of things, offensively, he would be an amazing table setter for guys like Judge, Bellinger, Stanton, Jazz. These guys would have a lot more run scoring opportunities because Arraez would be on base. The fact that the only way Arraez gets on base is by getting a base hit does not work counts at all concerns me, especially in a system that the Yankees have. That concerns me. Defensively, knowing that Luis Arraez is going to look like jack shit undermines everything the Yankees have done this offseason. But the Yankees do have a glaring hole. They either fill second base and keep Jazz at third, or you fill third base and you move Jazz to second. But one of those positions has to be filled by opening day. And who knows, maybe Luis Arraez is the best option available. But what do you guys think? Do you think Luis Arraez can be a really valuable player in pinstripes? Do you think maybe they should go after someone like Ha-Seong Kim, go after someone a little bit more in that realm? Do you think Luis Arraez is a great player? Do you think he's a not so great player? You let me know down below. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. I'm out of here. Take care and